Good evening, good afternoon, and if the sun is rising where you are, good morning to you. Hold up, we're not live, are we? I pushed the button.
Nope, we are live.
Okay, take two. Let's try this again. Good evening, good afternoon. If the sun is rising where you are, good morning to you. Welcome to this Tuesday edition of the Buttery Show. I am Jacqueline Amira. I will be your hostess for this cinematic journey tonight. For your own safety, please keep your hands, feet, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times. With me tonight is my partner in crime, Boken Kabuto. Say hello.
Hello, everyone. Just doing some stand up philosophy, and we're going to be talking about it today.
Oh my goodness. I have to give a disclaimer on this one. Tonight is for the grown-ups in the room. So, if you are unable to legally drive a car, purchase a lottery ticket, buy an adult beverage, please turn off your devices now. And if you decide to stick around anyway, don't be stupid, don't get caught. You get a friend's house anyway. We are just going down the road of Mel Brook's classics tonight, and we are going over the 1981 film, History of the World Part 1. Yeah, this is definitely one for the grown-ups tonight. I try to keep it clean on this show because you never know with the internet. You never know who's watching.
Right.
But this one just takes the level of satire, sarcasm, and just straight up ridiculousness that Mel Brooks is known for to another level. I mean, my God, he played 5 roles in this movie. I think he outdid himself.
It's good to be king.
Yeah, for him, it's good to be king.
Yeah, it's good to be director, writer, producer, executive producer, and lead actor.
Now, I wasn't even born yet when this movie came out. I don't think you were either.
Nope.
How did you find it?
I saw, To Be or Not to Be and Spaceballs, and the rest was history. Part 1.
Oh my God. This is another...
I just love this movie so much. I just had to watch as many of them as I could find.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those, again, when you're a kid and there's... I can't say parental controls because back in the day, that little black box didn't do squat. You push the right buttons, you connected the right cords, you can get every channel you wanted. But this is one of those that I snuck in when my mom wasn't watching. And I was like, oh, okay, so this is why the grown-ups don't want me to see it.
I love it when something is funny to you when you're a kid, but it's even more funny when you're an adult because while there are a lot of great jokes for the kids, there are hidden great jokes for the adults.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, this movie is actually narrated, by Orson Welles, which I was very impressed by. And also, I never thought I would want to say shame on you, Mel Brooks, but I'm going to have to because B. Arthur was uncredited as the unemployment agent in the Roman Empire for that particular scene. As much of a legend as she is, she needed credit for that one. That was pretty funny. It wasn't a long scene, but it was still good.
And at the very least, they could have at least referred to her as the employee of that government department that we are not a fan of.
I take that.
I'm not a fan of the EDDs, so.
I mean, this movie is strictly historical spoof, crazy ridiculousness, where it covers the 4 eras. It covers the caveman era. It covers the Roman Empire, the Spanish Inquisition, and the French Revolution as well. Did you have a favorite one?
Oh, I mean, I would say the Roman Empire is probably the best one. I mean, it encompasses more of the movie than any of the other time periods. And honestly, when I rewatch the movie, I can't help but think that the movie Year One tried to emulate what History of the World originally did, but just, try to do a new version. Not quite as well as Mel Brooks did. As good as the cast is.
It's funny that you mentioned that because we are technically getting a part 2, but it will be a series. It has been greenlighted through Hulu. I believe filming started for that in spring of this year. Mel Brooks is writing it. Thank God. It is also getting some help from other writers too. But as long as Mel Brooks has a commanding part in it, I'm cool with it. I believe that show was greenlighted October of last year, I want to say. But I'm going to put this out to the audience. Let us know in the comments, out of the 4 eras, and for the sake of censorship, please keep it clean, which one you liked and why.
Yeah.
So we can discuss.
I'm both surprised and happy they're doing part 2, because I was surprised when I first saw the movie that there wasn't a part 2, but I accepted it because it made the joke of the title being part 1 to be funnier. Someone told me Mel Brooks died or was too old to make a part 2, but then I was surprised when I saw him being interviewed by Conan O'Brien. I'm like, so why do we not have a part 2 yet?
I mean, the same could be said for other films we've already covered. Spaceballs. Why wasn't there a sequel? Yeah, there's been talk. There's been many discussions of it. But, and Blazing Saddles, I mean, technically we can go the route of Paws of Fury being a Shogun, but it is still animated. It's not the same as a live action sequel.
Yeah. Was Spaceballs the animated series a sequel to Spaceballs? I never saw the TV show.
I didn't watch it. Right. Now, in this movie, the Spanish Inquisition, I could not believe the level of ridiculousness that took place throughout that entire Broadway musical type number. I know it's Mel Brooks. I know what to expect, but still, you got nuns swimming in the pool all synchronized, and you got Mel Brooks with monks showing their legs. I was just like, okay, wow. And then, of course, there's Miracle. We all need one from time to time. And where's the Miracle? I thought she had it.
Oh, yeah. Here it is. Perfectly timed.
We need a miracle, folks. We got one. Oh, my goodness. I actually got a little mad at that part where it looked to me like they were going to hurt the horse. I love horses. Been riding since I was 7. And I got to give it up for Gregory Hines, because I think this is almost a similar situation to Blazing Saddles. Well, not even, because you had colored cast members as the railroad workers and such, but you didn't really have too many people of color in this film in comparison to his other works.
Yeah.
You had the eunuchs that were being tested, and Gregory Hines tried to hide out amongst them. I told you guys this was for the grown-ups. I don't even think I can call myself a grown-up from time to time, but this one's for the grown-ups.
Yeah, he tried to hide his unicorn.
Mm-hmm. And Julius Caesar, my God, the first time I saw him, my mind immediately went to Blazing Saddles. Sissy Marys! I love that Mel Brooks keeps the same people around. A lot of the big shot producers and directors do that. Adam Sandler keeps a lot of the same people around in his movies. Same could be said for Tyler Perry. It just makes it work when you know what to expect with the same caliber of high comedic actor around.
Yeah. Agreed.
Now, do you have a favorite, apart from Mr. Mel Brooks, because my God, I can't speak enough praises about the man. Mm-hmm. Apart from Mel Brooks, did you have other favorite role or person in this movie?
Well, obviously it would have to go to Hines, because he had a lot of great scenes in the movie, especially when he was introduced, and like the fact that he's not a Christian, he's a Jew. You don't need an Inquisition me. And so like you got to make 2 different kinds of snipping jokes in with his character. And it's a classic. But skipping to the Inquisition part, I knew what I was in for for 2 reasons. 1, I already saw the producers. Mm-hmm. And 2, Kids Next Door did a parody of that sequence. I'll go a little bit more into it when we get to that scene, but so I knew what I was in for. Not to the extent, but I had an idea.
Right. I mean, the cast in this movie is ridiculous. Apart from, the B. Arthur situation not being credited, Hugh Hefner has a cameo. Dom DeLuise, Madeline Kahn, a lot of the same actors that you see in these hilarious, so far off the rails type of situations. They brought them back for that. And Orson Welles, I think I mentioned this already, he did narrate the film, which was
Yeah.
very impressive. One thing that surprised me with this, though, I wish there were more coming attractions at the end. You had Hitler on Ice, you
Yeah.
had
A
Jews in
Viking
Space,
funeral
a Viking
and
funeral.
then a Jews in space. So that was pretty much it.
I was honestly expecting more, like one more, maybe two more, kind of like with the Marvel movies. You're expecting that bonus scene at the end, and you wait,
Yeah. No,
and
I
then you're
agree.
disappointed.
Yeah, but again, like how I'll say this: like the only way they could take things further from Jews in space is if like one of the Jews was played by Rick Moranis and made a Spaceballs reference. But
That's who was missing from this movie.
yeah,
As funny as he was as Darth Helmet,
yeah,
I would have loved to have seen him in some comedic capacity within this movie.
yeah, it'd be funny if there was like a shared universe between all the Mel Brooks movies. I mean, they know. I mean, in some of them, they acknowledge that some of the previous movies existed,
Yeah.
but like it'd be funny if like in History of the World we actually do see Dark Helmet or like some other thing, or heck, even have okay, I know History of the World came before this, but
Mm-hmm.
it would have been funny if you could retroactively bring uh a Robin Hood from Man in Tights in one scene. Like maybe he could have been the one robbing Moses in that scene.
Oh my god, that was hilarious. He's parting the water. No, he's not. He's getting mugged.
Keep your hands up.
Oh my god. I'll be honest with you guys here. I'm 38, and even there were some spots in the movie where even I turned red, like, oh my god. No, they did not. Um, the testing of the virgins was one, even though we technically already covered that scene with Gregory Hines being tested. But I mean, what drives me up the wall a little bit is that just about every one of Mel Brooks's works gets critically panned right as it comes out, and it's not appreciated until decades later. But when they do a remake or they reference it in other films, Rotten Tomatoes, I think, gave that one a 40 or 60%. It was a very low score. And it's just an insult to his comedic genius.
Yeah, I like to think of Mel Brooks as a modern day William Shakespeare, where the people, his target audience aren't intellectuals. His target audience is the common person, but it's just so darn witty that a
Mhm.
person who is an intellectual can also appreciate it. And sometimes it doesn't go like universally appreciated until it becomes posthumous. Thankfully, Mel Brooks is still alive to see his work be appreciated. But
Thank you. Stay alive,
aggregate
please.
sites, aggregate sites, you guys need to take a class on comedy. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Do you have the DVD?
I do not have this one on DVD. I do have some Mel Brooks movies on DVD. Sadly, not this one. So I did
Aw.
have to rent it on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, that's
But
what I did.
yeah, but no, Spaceballs. I definitely watched it on DVD because I still have those things.
Goodness gracious. I want to just like blurt everything out of my mouth at once with this movie just because of all that's contained in it.
Yeah,
And again, I'm just happy that they're finally making a sequel out of it, even though it's a series and not a movie.
mm-hmm. I would say if anything, the benefit of it being a series is instead of making one movie with like with like one like continuous plot that kind of crosses multiple time periods, I think they could like dedicate 30 minutes to a different time period in each episode, and then somehow in the final episode the characters from the entire season just like come together from out of nowhere for some MCU level crisis in the history of the universe.
Now, one thing that this movie had working against it, and I didn't realize this earlier, History of the World Part 1 got released, and it had to go up against Raiders of the Lost Ark and Clash of the Titans.
I forgot.
I hate to say this, Mr. Brooks, but you're in trouble against those two. Like, those are heavy hitter movies, both of them.
I forgot the original Clash of Titans was even from that year.
Yeah, it's 2 years before my time. Yeah. I mean, it did a pretty good weekend gross at the box office, 4.8 million. And I think it actually was one of his best box office releases, if not the best, out of all of his films. Mm-hmm. Which says a lot considering what's in that movie. Oh my God, if you haven't seen it yet, you'll figure this out later. If you did, you know why I'm laughing.
Not gonna lie though, this movie is the only thing that could give me a hankering for spinach.
Ah. And you know, with all the eras that this movie covered, I'm really surprised there wasn't a Trojan horse.
Yeah. It would have been fun if there was one.
Absolutely.
Because the Trojan horse was BC, it's Greek, but they could still work their way into it because they did mention Socrates or Aristotle in the Roman Empire scene where it's like, well, you're working at Caesar's palace.
And I love the music that they played as Mel Brooks came out. Yeah. It almost felt like an episode of the Johnny Carson show from way back in the day.
Yeah. And I love how, like, when they pull up to the front of Caesar's Palace, they use the actual hotel from Las Vegas.
Oh my God, I miss that place. I do not miss the price of everything there, but I miss Vegas.
It feels so surreal, like seeing how different it was back then compared to the way it was during my lifetime.
We're talking like we're old whippersnappers over here. It looks like we've got a few comments already based on the question I posed earlier. Let's see. All right. Hey, Jake. The Old Testament era with Moses, that splitting of the lake, it still holds up. Yes, it does. I agree. What else we got? Let's see. Your thoughts? A sequel finally being made? Yep. Part 2 is finally happening. Yes, it is. Woohoo! All right. That part 2 tease after the end of the film. Yeah, we know. They made us wait a long time for that part 2. Let me tell you.
You know, like, because there is going to be Hitler on ice, I want to see an ice skating version of the musical number A Springtime for Germany. Because, like, I just want to see them do an ice skating version of that number. Because, you know, if you have Hitler on ice, you may as well do it for the third time.
Oh, my God. Let's see, Winged Wolf. Is this the longest time a movie has been between sequels? I don't know, but I can look into it. It has been a long time. Definitely.
Well, it definitely has Blade Runner beat.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because I think the first one came out around the same time as History of the World Part 1. But Blade Runner 2 definitely came out late in the mid-2010s. So, like, this definitely has it beat. Yeah, Star Wars, we had a 22-year hiatus, followed by a 14-year hiatus. Is it 14 years? No, it's about 10 years. Okay. Yeah, so I actually have a question for you. And the audience, I would like to ask you as well in the comments. There's no point in asking what the favorite scene is in the movie because there's too many good scenes. So I will modify that question. What's your favorite scene from each time period?
Oh, Lord. Keep it clean, folks. I don't want to get censored on the internet. And actually, one era that we have not covered yet is the last one in the film, the French Revolution. We can go into the caveman portion as well, but that didn't have as long of a runtime in comparison to its counterparts. Harvey Korman, oh my God. Every time I see him on film, I think Hedley Lamar from Blazing Saddles. Oh my god! And I never really was one for period type films,
Yeah.
but this I can handle with the
Mhm.
level of satire and humor.
Agreed. Agreed. Honestly, I liked this, and I know a lot of people are gonna hate me for saying this, but I like this movie better than the Holy Grail. Just saying. That's not to say
Ooh.
the Holy Grail is a bad. That's okay. Unlike a conversation we had last time, it isn't to say that the Holy Grail is a bad movie. It was a brilliant movie. I just think that Life of Brian was better, as well as History of the World Part One.
And it didn't feel that long of a movie, did it? As it
No,
rolled through the different
it
eras.
was like 86 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So insert Pause of Fury reference here.
He's seen it yet. I have not. So I will have to take his word for that.
The thing is, ever since I saw Pause of Fury, like every time I watch a Mel Brooks movie now, I have to like check to see the total runtime of the movie because they actually reference a runtime for a movie in one off joke.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's a two off joke, but so now I'm like checking the runtime. I'm like, oh, History of the World, it's 86 minutes. Okay, the Shogun will be happy.
Oh my god! Did we get any new answers to the question? Yeah, let's have a look. Let's see.
Nope, just looking forward to the sequel.
Yeah, so are we.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so for me, the answer to the question I posed is the art critic, the what's called the unemployment line.
Oh my god, B. Arthur, rest in peace. I love you. I really do.
The 15 Commandments.
That went down to
I know I did them out of order. Obviously, the Last Supper and the Inquisition. That like, there's only one scene in the Spanish Inquisition. So
whole musical thing. Yep.
yeah. So that one wins that time period by default, and of course the running gag. It's good to be king.
You know, Patrick Stewart could have pulled that line off in that movie too.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah. And he did. In Robin Hood, he actually said that.
Yeah, he could. Yeah, but I mean, in this movie, like they could have put him into this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see here. No. I don't see anything new yet.
Yeah. So, Jacqueline, what are your favorite scenes from each time period?
For the caveman period, the attempt at humor, and when the dinosaur comes and gets him, and then they start to laugh, like they don't get like he's gone bye. With the Roman Empire, I mean, I have to say the B. Arthur scene. I love her. Spanish Inquisition, like you said, I mean, the musical number wins by default.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the French Revolution, I have to leave it that very last scene in the movie where just like out of nowhere, Gregory Hines pulls up with the horse.
Yeah.
In Roman attire.
We need a miracle.
Oh my goodness. And Gregory Hines was really lean in that film too.
Yeah.
Like, my goodness.
Yeah. Well, he needed to brush up on that sand dance, so you'd be surprised how many calories you burn doing that.
Jesus. Now, I don't know this for sure, but I can look into it. Orson Welles hasn't narrated any more of Mel Brooks' works, has he?
Not that I know of. I could check real quick, if you don't mind doing a bit of filibustering.
Filibustering.
Let's see. Orson Welles, Mel Brooks. Let's see what he was in. Okay. He narrated quite a number of movies. But I don't see any Mel Brooks movies except for History of the World. Yeah. Let's see. King of Kings was probably not one of his movies.
That sounds a little too serious.
Yeah. But the font isn't. Yeah, no, we'll get back to you when we cover History of the World Part 1.5.
Oh my goodness. That's an idea. That's something he could have done. History of the World Part 1.5.
Yeah.
Instead of Part 2 with the series coming out on Hulu.
Yeah, and it could be only, and they could make it only like 45 minutes long and say, "Hey, we only had enough budget for half a movie, so that's why we call it History of the World Part 1.5."
I mean, they've done it in other movies, like 0.5 of sequels.
Yeah, like Spider-Man 2.1.
What's interesting about Mr. Brooks, the way he comes up with ideas for things. Like he came up with the idea for the title of Blazing Saddles while he was in the shower, if I remember correctly from the interview that he had. And the inspiration for this particular film in general came from an incident in 1979 where he was just walking around a parking lot. Like to have that level of inspiration, to just have a spark to launch something like this, it just shows testament of how brilliant he is.
Right. Yeah. And also, like, I love how he always like pushes the boundaries of comedy.
The boundaries don't exist. They're gone. Bye bye. So was the fourth wall.
Yeah. Like I said, to me, George Carlin's number 0 and Mel Brooks is number 1. I probably would not enjoy stand-up comedy as an art form as a whole if not for these legends, much less try myself.
I don't know if I could do it either. I try to play it safe when possible. Pushing boundaries really isn't my thing, but if you could do it and make me laugh, more power to you.
It gets easier with time. The important thing is to know your audience. That's the only given in doing comedy. Understand what the audience likes and make it your own.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah.
Now, do you have any other thoughts about the film?
No, just excited for the next one. and I mean that in both ways, like History World Part 2 and for whatever movie we do next.
Well, why don't you pick it this time? I think I picked the last one.
Well, in that case, I'm torn between The Producers and To Be or Not to Be, because both of them are amazing Mel Brooks films, and at least one of them it's not as commonly known as the other. So I would love to review both of them. Obviously, we can only do one per episode, so whichever one of those two you want to do, we'll do that one.
Okay. I haven't seen To Be or Not to Be. That is one I need to definitely watch. I haven't seen The Producers in a very, very, very long time. So we can cover To Be or Not to Be first. Yeah. And then we could do the Producers after that.
Right. Yeah, I actually, one of my favorite things about meeting John Barrowman during LA Comic-Con was I was the only person to ever bring up the fact that he was in the remake. And he was surprised I actually remembered it.
Yeah, I don't think we have any more comments here. Oh, boo. I was hoping for more answers to our question.
Right. Well, in any case, if you haven't seen History of the World Part 1, please be sure to watch it. And of course, since we're doing To Be or Not to Be next, be sure to watch that movie this upcoming week. Because we love to hear what you guys thought of the movie, when we talk about it.
Absolutely. This is a laughter house, I think, at this point, with all the works that we've covered.
Yeah. Right. So you wanna do the housekeeping?
Housekeeping? I already cleaned up around here.
No, I mean, like, where can we be found? But so that the internet doesn't become a total mess, a whole schmuck, a pigsty, a bardak. Yes, that is a Yiddish word. trying to find us on the internet outside of this channel.
I can assure you the internet was already a mess long before we started this show.
Yeah.
I don't think we can make it any messier. And let's see here. How about you go first, if you don't mind?
All right. If you guys like our content, be sure to follow us individually. Starting with me, you can find me on Boken _Kabuto on Instagram. And on Twitch, you can find me on twitch.tv/Boken Kabuto, where right now I'm playing Shadow the Hedgehog and Jedi Fallen Order. Tomorrow is Fallen Order. So be sure to check that out. And Jackie, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Jacqueline Amira, all lowercase letters, all together. And this Friday, I will be, fingers crossed, hosting another podcast with one of our Morphin Teen Network members, Clement, to go over Don Brothers episodes from Japan. Woo!
I love that show, to be honest. I memorized the dance in preparation for Ryan's birthday party, because I just wanted to surprise him with that.
Did you actually do that? Because I wasn't there.
Yeah, I did that. And Ryan's like, oh my God.
Didn't you say he was missing for most of it?
Well, he made a cameo at his birthday.
Oh, geez. You hear this, guys? You hear this, a cameo at his own birthday party.
We love you, Ryan. We really do.
Yes, we do.
And in case we haven't said it before on the actual show, happy belated birthday.
Yes, happy belated birthday. And for all of you wonderful people at home, both my co-host and myself, thank you for joining us tonight on this journey of laughter and buttery goodness. Until the popcorn kernels rise again, be awesome, be kind, be a beacon of light in this thing that we call life. We love you. Take care. And we are out of here.
Miracle away.
There it is.
Wrong
I was
way.
looking for it. Wrong way, Miracle. This is the wrong kind. Take care, everybody. We love you. Good night. Okay. Forgive me. This is my fourth hosting, you guys. I'm getting used to this. I swear.
I gotcha.
Thank you.